Donovan, pronouns are he, him, theist from South Carolina, says, Matt, you previously assumed for the sake of argument that God exists and that God would have the ability to tell you that he exists, and then quote, and the fact that God hasn't told me that he exists means that God is impossible. I disagree that God would necessarily have the ability to tell you more details. Okay, Donovan, first of all, that thing that you put in quotes where it says the fact that God hasn't told me exists means that God is impossible, that is something I've never said and would never say.
Well, I mean, I know the actual show, the caller, Billy from Texas. I have the quote, I have the video quote and everything. I mean, but that's something I can't demonstrate to you over the phone, obviously. So
you can't demonstrate it anywhere because it is literally not the case that I would. So I know what I've said. I would say that if God exists, God should be capable of demonstrating to me that he exists. And because that hasn't happened, that means that either that God doesn't exist or that God doesn't want me to know that he exists yet. That is the phrasing that I've used for a decade or more on this and have never said and would never say that the existence of God is impossible, and certainly would never say that the existence of God is impossible merely because God hasn't revealed itself to me. That is a complete misrepresentation of my position.
Okay, so and this is what I was thinking too, because the debate kind of got a little back and forth. Calling debate got a little bit fiery, and I felt like, okay, this doesn't sound like something Matt would say, so maybe he just left it out in the passion of the back and forth. But 100%, I would put my life on it. I bet anything that you did say. The fact that there isn't a God who has told me that it exists means that God isn't possible.
You would bet your life. You're saying you would bet your life that I said that?
I mean, it's on video. I
cool.
have it. I mean,
I'll bet you $5,000. I don't even have $5,000. Yes, I would absolutely bet you, because so if I said that, pull up the clip.
Yeah, I would love for chat to go through. Chat, you guys are fast. You said it was Billy in Texas. Do you know what day, Donovan?
Billy from. First of all, what up, Arden? When I'm on the phone and I'm not looking at the video, I forget that you're there. But yeah, what up?
You're right.
Yeah, it's Billy from Texas, but it was a Talk Heathen. It was Talk Heathen, and it said on my feed when I pulled up on YouTube. Yeah.
That we don't even put Talk Heathen's not on this channel, and I haven't done an episode of Talk Heathen in years.
Yes. So that's why I said it said Talk Heathen throwback. So this was 2021, I believe. It just popped up on my feed, and I was shocked because I was like, That's not what Matt would typically say.
Okay. Can we set all this aside, Donovan, and can we just acknowledge that that is not what I say, what I would say, apart from possibly a slip of the lip or whatever else, because I'm not going to go back and give a view to the shit community that stole my fucking emails to try to prove you wrong. So can we instead set all of that aside and address the point that you wanted to address?
Oh, okay. First, I didn't even know that about Talk Heathen and you. But no, I mean, that was the point, because I was wondering, well, even right now, you said that a God should be capable of telling you exists if that God in fact exists. And I'm wondering, why do you believe that he should be, or it should be capable of telling you anything or have the ability to communicate to you? Like, what evidence is there to suggest that?
No, it's not a matter of evidence. It's about the various gods that people propose exist. So, for example, the gods of Christianity and Judaism and Islam and those things, they all are portrayed as having the capability of demonstrating the truth of their existence, right?
Right, I understand that, but
okay. And the god of classical theism, which supplants all of those and is the underlying god of classical theism, is an agent that is omnimax in its capabilities, which means that God should have the ability to demonstrate that it exists as well. What God are you suggesting actually exists but cannot demonstrate that it exists? And how do you know it?
No, I was saying that in the call, that type of God, the classical theistic God, it wasn't even brought up. And
Donovan?
I know that we don't like, I'm sorry?
I don't give a shit about that call. We said we were going to set that call aside. Why would you say that there's a God that wouldn't have the ability to demonstrate it exists?
I don't think I said that there will be a God that wouldn't have the ability.
It literally
exist.
says, here, I'm looking at what it says in the call screener note, and it says, right after you accuse me of saying that God is impossible, which I didn't say, you then say, I disagree that God would necessarily have the ability to tell you more detail. And so you're claiming that there's a God that wouldn't be able to demonstrate it exists.
No, let me clarify, please. I'm saying that I wouldn't have the first idea what powers any God would have unless it demonstrated its capabilities. And I don't know whether or not a God can tell anybody anything until I have evidence that demonstrates that.
Okay.
You believe
there's a God, right, Donovan?
I do.
What can your God do?
What can my God do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, can I define my God? The God that I
Sure.
believe in?
Yeah.
Okay. So the God that I believe in is a being that possesses a universe and has the ability to create a reality or realities.
So the God that you believe in, if it can create realities, should be capable of demonstrating that it exists, right?
No, see, that's an inference that needs to be supported by evidence because of the fact that
no, by definition. So are you saying that you believe in a God that has a universe and can create reality, but can't demonstrate that it exists to the beings inside that reality? Why not? If it can create reality, it can certainly create a reality where it can demonstrate its existence, right?
Yes.
Okay. So your God can create a reality, and that means that it can demonstrate its existence, right?
No, it does not. I don't see. That's the part
You literally just said yes. You literally just said yes to the same thing with one small.
It can create a reality.
Yes, let me finish and you'll understand. You literally said yes to the same thing with one small change. So here's the change. You believe in a God that can create a reality where it can demonstrate its existence, but you think that God might have created a reality where it can't demonstrate its existence, right?
Not exactly. I believe in a God that can create a reality, but that doesn't necessitate that it's able to demonstrate its existence.
That's literally a restating of what I literally just said one sentence before you answered. Here's the thing. Did your God create reality? Did your God, maybe you misheard when you heard me say it was impossible. Did your God create reality?
Yes.
Could your God have created a reality where it was possible for that God to demonstrate its existence?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Could your God have created a reality where it is possible for it to demonstrate to the inhabitants of that reality that it exists?
I don't know that. I don't know what God's capability.
Donovan, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you have a useless God that I don't give a shit about, and nobody should, and you shouldn't.
I don't understand, Donovan, how you can say that. Like you don't know if God could talk to you because you don't see. You need evidence that God could talk to you, and you need evidence that God could demonstrate his existence, but yet you believe God created existence, and you don't need that to be demonstrated. You don't need that to be demonstrated. Like, why is there like a special exception for this one thing?
Okay, let me be more clear then. I feel like I haven't been more clear. So first and foremost, I'm a polytheist. And so I believe that not all gods have the capability of doing it, but some gods may have the capability of demonstrating its existence.
But that doesn't answer the question, though. That doesn't answer.
You didn't answer her question, because she's basically saying it doesn't matter how many gods you believe in. You haven't. If your God can't demonstrate that it's real, then you shouldn't believe in it. And if you do believe in gods, and why would you believe in gods that have no way to demonstrate that they're real to you?
No, I just said that I believe that some of them can and some can't.
That's just like another claim, though. Like you were saying that you don't think it's reasonable to expect God to be able to talk to you, to demonstrate his existence, because we don't have evidence of that. And I'm saying, but you are accepting that God created all existence, whether it's some gods or multiple gods or one omni god, doesn't really matter how many. You accept that part without evidence for that. Why? Why do you make an exception in that case, but not for God being able to demonstrate himself to you?
Oh, okay. All right. So I do believe I have evidence for the God that I believe in.
Great. Please provide the evidence.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So the God that I believe in possesses the universe. The way I define the universe is...
Donovan?
I'm sorry?
You said you were a polytheist, and now you're talking about God in the singular.
Okay. I was just saying that, all right, a God that I believe in, I wasn't really hanging on the words, but I'll be very clear then.
Okay, before you do that, Dr. Space Monkey went back and listened to that call from Talk Heathen. Thank you for doing that, Dr. Space Monkey. And, I hope you did it on an incognito browser so that maybe they don't get that. So the thing that you evidently missed from that call is that when I said that God was impossible, I was responding to that person's model. Hang on, I lost it because of the scroll. I was responding to that person's model of quantum possibility and saying that under that person's model, that God would be impossible. This was not an example of the fact that a God hasn't told me my standard answer means that God doesn't exist or doesn't let me know it exists. That is not the same thing as me saying that God is impossible. So thanks, Dr. Space Monkey, for clearing that up. So why do you believe in a God or multiple gods?
Okay, first you told me that you were setting that aside, but when it's convenient for you, now you put it back. All right.
Well, we're disproving what you said. So.
I'm sorry, Donovan. Here, let me mute you now that it's convenient for me. Since what I did was somebody in chat went and did the work that I'm not going to do in the middle of the show and that you didn't do well enough beforehand. And out of respect for that person, I decided to clarify this so that we don't have to go back to that call again. But you decided to whine about it. Why? That doesn't make any sense. I'm responding and giving you additional information so that you can understand your mistakes and my words better. Now, why do you believe in gods?
Okay. So I'm not allowed to rebut that. Just why do I believe in gods?
Correct. You don't wait, hang on. Let me mute you again. You don't get to rebut my explanation for why I run my show the way I run my show. There's no rebuttal needed. There is information that came from someone who went and checked the clip. We've set all that aside. I just didn't want their effort to go unanswered and unrewarded. I thought it would be good, but now that it's turned into a big fucking time waster, here you go, Donovan. Say whatever the fuck you want. I no longer care. Go ahead, your turn. Gonna whine some more?
Okay, the God. No.
Cool.
The God that can I speak now? Oh, I'm not too sure.
Go for it. Go.
Okay, so the God that I believe in, like I said, the definition is that a being who possesses a universe that can create realities. Now, the evidence that I have is that a universe, the definition of a universe is an isolated system of space-time, matter, and energy. Okay? So I believe that there, outside of the physical space-time, matter, and energy of the physical universe, there's another outside or metaphysical space-time, matter, and energy. And from there, it can create realities because the metaphysical space-time, matter, and energy is consciousness. And consciousness, we create realities with our consciousness.
Okay. So first of all, you said your evidence is that a universe exists, and you believe that outside of that, there's another metaphysical space, like a meta-universe. That is not evidence. That's just you saying what you believe.
Oh, I mean, there's more.
No. When you say my evidence is, and then you state something, and I point out that's not evidence, that's just stating what you believe, and now you say there's more. What's the evidence for a metaphysical space-time, matter, and energy outside of our universe?
I know the evidence of being that can create realities and possess this universe. It's Franklin Richards, and the evidence is the comic books where Franklin Richards exists. I did it. Sweet. I made your argument for you, Donovan. More compelling case, too.
All right. So, not quite, but so there's metaphysical matter. Metaphysical matter is thought. Then there's metaphysical space that is three-dimensional, which is personal experience, which is the past experience, present experience, and future experience.
No, this is so, Donovan, I need you to stop with the psychobabble drivel and present evidence.
All right, but I'm trying to explain the evidence.
No, you're just saying stuff.
You're just saying stuff. Give me a single piece of evidence that confirms that you can confirm a metaphysical space-time, matter, and energy outside of our space-time, matter, and energy. How do you investigate outside of space-time?
Okay, so the metaphysical space that I'm talking about that I claimed was personal experience, which has three dimensions.
Donovan, I asked a very specific question. You need to try to answer that question, which is, how do you investigate outside of our local space-time?
By positing a hypothesis.
No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. That's not how evidence works. That's how you speculate. I'm not looking for speculation. I'm looking for evidence.
I was mocking you and I brought up the comic thing, Donovan, but my point in doing that was an actual example of evidence, is that I can point you to a thing that demonstrates my point. Whether or not it is true is irrelevant, but like I was trying to help you understand what we're looking for, like evidence, not just more claims and conjecture.
Donovan, do the gods that you believe in interact with reality in any detectable fashion?
Yes.
How do they interact with reality? How have you detected that interaction?
Well, you're a being that possesses consciousness, and your consciousness creates realities. And I'm a being that also possesses consciousness and creates realities. So therefore, if we're communicating
none of that is true, nor does any of it have anything to do with the gods that you're advocating for demonstrating themselves in reality. So I'll ask again, how do the gods that you believe in interact with reality? How do they interact with reality, and how can we know that?
It is in fact true that you do possess consciousness, or I possess consciousness, and
I am conscious, but that doesn't mean I possess consciousness. And my consciousness doesn't create a reality. My consciousness interprets reality and builds a model of a reality, but it's an equivocation to say that my internal model of reality is reality. That's an equivocation fallacy. And it's all irrelevant because the question I asked was, how do the gods that you believe in manifest in reality in a detectable way? What I do or what you do with our consciousness is irrelevant to whether or not the gods you believe in manifest in a detectable way. Last chance, Donovan. How can we detect your gods?
I'm saying a God is a being. All right.
Last chance, Donovan. Last chance, Donovan. How can we detect your gods?
Because I exist, because you exist. And
you are not a god and I am not a god. You are not a god and I am not a god. How can we detect your gods? How can we detect your gods? Donovan?
So can I demonstrate?
No, I'm going to fucking mute you, and I'm going to explain this because you are absolutely obnoxious or lunatic. One of the two. You said that you're not sure that gods can demonstrate that they exist in reality. You said that earlier. And now you're trying to suggest that, well, I'm conscious and you're conscious. Well, I can demonstrate that I exist in reality, as can you. Neither of us, in my view, are God. If you want to say that you and I are gods, congratulations, you now have a useless definition of God. It doesn't fit within the classical definition of God. It doesn't do anything other than apply a God label to something else, kind of like when people say the universe is God. So I'm going to unmute you because you also said that the gods you believe in manifest in reality in a detectable way. This is absolutely your last chance. I don't need any side stuff. I don't need any whining. I just need you to show how we can detect the gods plural that you're talking about. You can either demonstrate how we can detect those gods, or you're not, or you can't. Which is it?
I can. Okay.
Then do it right now.
Okay. You said in your view that we are not gods, but in my view, we are gods, and I can.
Okay, goodbye, Donovan.
That's more just claims.
Goodbye, Donovan. I have zero interest. I don't give you. What the fuck do you think's going on here?
Oh my God, Donovan! He literally Donovan, no, stop, Donovan, stop. He literally said,
"He's muted.
This is your last chance," and set it up for you. And rather than what you could have done, which would have been like, for example, you're making lots of claims about physics. You could say, this school of physics has hypothesized this for these reasons, and here is the evidence that they use to support this model that they're creating. You could have pointed to that. The evidence is X. But what did you do? You said, in my view, that's irrelevant. That's not evidence. That's more just claims. That's more just conjecture. That's more just saying stuff. It's not actually getting to the point, Donovan. We are looking for evidence, like actual examples that can help us understand why you think that way. We're trying to understand your position, but rather than help us, you just want to make more wild claims. It's really frustrating because, Donovan, I don't think you're a terrible guy. I actually think you seem like you might be a nice guy, but it's just, you're not bringing us anything that we can actually bite into or examine. Like, you're just saying, making claims.
I have zero interest in hearing any speculative conversation where someone is saying, I'm a god. Is that clear?
I'm not speculating if I can just explain how.
Donovan,
I understand that
Donovan, why is this so fucking difficult for you? I don't give a shit about your useless idea of whether or not I'm a god. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Okay. All right. So putting that. All right. You and I are gods. But then we can put that aside. If I can demonstrate that consciousness is a representation of God, then you can come to the conclusion that if we possess consciousness because we have thoughts, because we have personal experiences, that we are gods. But putting that aside,
no. You just started with this. Can you demonstrate that consciousness is God, or consciousness is about God, a representation of God?
Because if you accept the definition that a being who possesses a universe and can create realities is a God.
I don't possess a universe. I don't possess a universe. Neither do you.
All right. So, okay. So.
Correct? Am I correct? Am I correct?
If I say you're incorrect, I mean, you're just going to say I'm wrong. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know. I'm being honest, completely honest. I really don't know what to say. Like, I'm saying. Then stop talking. I do not possess a universe. If you think I possess a universe, show me the receipt.
Wait, Donovan, maybe the problem is that you have an extremely strange and esoteric definition of possess. Can you please tell me what you think the word possess means?
Okay. When I say, for example, I have thoughts, I have meaning possess. I possess thoughts. I have them. I have a personal spirit. I have a life. I possess a life. My life is mine. Possessions.
Yes,
It's my
I don't have a. You don't have a universe. The universe that you and I exist in, Donovan. You don't possess that. You are possessed by it.
I'm not saying that. I've never said that. I've never ever said that.
Donovan,
you're talking about the physical universe.
Donovan, you did say that. Universe? Donovan, you did say that.
Not. I said that.
Donovan, shut up and listen. Universe. Shut the fuck up and listen. You said that by definition, a God is a being that possesses a universe and that has the ability to create a reality, right?
Right, not the physical universe.
Stop!
I muted him on my end.
When I ask you a yes or no fucking question, just say the yes, because I'm building towards something. If your definition is that God is a being that possesses a universe and has the ability to create a reality, then I am not a God because I do not possess a universe and I do not have the ability to create a reality. Therefore, by your own definition, I am not a God. Is that clear?
You're unmuted.
We might have done it at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry?
Okay. You're good. Go for it.
No, I said that's fine. Then you are not a God. But I'm saying consciousness is a metaphysical universe. And the way it's a metaphysical universe is because...
Donovan, you said earlier I was a God. Now you're saying I'm not a God. Which is it?
You just asked me, you just said, clear, I'm not a God. And I said, fine. Like, what do you want me to say? I say you are one, then you get upset. I say no, then you get upset. I don't know what to tell you.
It's because we want you to prove your point. We want you to demonstrate.
I would like you to fucking...
You literally asked me fine?
Shut up. I would like you to fucking acknowledge... My denture's falling out. You made a claim about God. I demonstrated that your claim is wrong. I would like you to acknowledge that before you move on. That's how conversations go. Otherwise, you're just waiting for your next turn to spew out more bullshit. So acknowledge that I'm not a God. I acknowledge that I'm not a God.
Bro.
Acknowledge you're not a God.
So I can't disagree with you?
Are you a God?
Yes, and I can demonstrate it.
No, you can't. You don't possess a universe. You don't possess a universe, and you can't create a reality.
So can I explain the universe that I possess, or no?
What? Sure. Is it a necklace around your neck, like the cat from Men in Black or whatever? What universe do you possess?
Really corny. Okay, so
I know
consciousness is a metaphysical universe.
No, it is not. That is some Jordan Peterson bullshit.
I'm completely done with this conversation, Donovan, because you are advocating for esoteric, nonsensical shit that is completely useless to everyone listening. There is nothing that you've said that is of any use or any edification to anyone watching. And you define this, and now you're going to say that you're a God because you possess a universe, but you don't possess a universe. Consciousness isn't a universe. What you imagine isn't a universe. The reality that you invent in your head isn't a reality in reality and existing anywhere other than in your head. You're not a God. I'm done with you, Donovan. Thank you.
All right, you didn't let me explain anything.
Donovan, that's not true. Donovan, don't lie. Don't lie. We gave you many opportunities, and Donovan, we gave you many opportunities, and rather, I'm going to mute you. We gave you many opportunities. We even set it up for you. We said, okay, we want you to do this and go. And what would you do? You would just do more conjecture. You would say that the metaphysical universe is your consciousness or whatever fucking nonsense, deepity bullshit you weave together there. You didn't actually do it. We gave you the opportunities. We jumped in because you said some crazy bullshit that we had to address or clarify to try to understand what you're saying, but you didn't help us understand what you're saying. You just said more esoteric Jordan Peterson-esque bullshit. It doesn't actually help edify anything.
I'm gonna unmute Donovan, and I'm gonna let Donovan talk. And I guarantee you that Donovan will do nothing but make unfounded assertions that are about what he believes with no demonstration that they are in fact tied to reality. Here we go. Your turn, Donovan. Go ahead, say what you want to say. Oh, fuck. We both unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was speaking. I didn't know I was on. Can I ask a question?
No.
No.
What is your problem, Donovan? Okay, I'm going to mute you again, and you listen very carefully because you don't seem to be capable of doing this. I literally just said, I'm going to let Donovan speak and say whatever he wants. And I guarantee you that it's going to be a bunch of assertions about what Donovan believes and absolutely no tie to actual evidence that exists in reality. And then you said, can I ask a question? No, say what you need to say.
Okay, so I can say anything I need to say, but I can't ask questions.
Okay, Donovan, I don't know what's wrong with you. Why are you asking me a question? I've already paused twice now to clarify this. Make whatever statement you need to make about consciousness or universe. And I guarantee that it's going to be nothing but assertions about what you believe and unsupported by anything rational or evidence. No, you don't get to ask a question. So why now have you twice asked a question about whether or not you can ask a question? I'm going to unmute you now. Make your statement about consciousness in the universe. Go.
Okay. We have thought, and we have particles of thought that we call ideas. Now, ideas can combine. For example, you have the idea of a wheel, then you have an idea of a motor, and you could put those two ideas together to make a car. Ideas combine, and we produce new ideas from the combination of ideas, just like matter. We can also deconstruct or decompose ideas because it behaves just like matter in the sense, for example, like religious deconstruction, to see our fundamental ideas that make up our conscious ideas. Now, our ideas move through the three-dimensional space of our personal experiences. When we think three-dimensionally through our past, present, and future. For example, you cross the street, you look both ways because you know that there are consequences. You can see the future experience of getting hit by a car if you don't look both ways. You know from your memories that people get hit by cars if they're looking down on their phone, and in the present moment, you're looking to cross the road. So our thoughts move in the three dimension of our personal experience, past, present, and future. The energy that moves our thought is emotion. Emotion moves our thought. When you're happy, when you feel happy, you think happy thoughts. So our emotion moves our thoughts in the three-dimensional space of our personal experience, past, present, and future. And the time, the metaphysical time, is the movie that is our life, the scenes that we live in, the actual movie that we live in. And so this description of consciousness as a universe and the fact that consciousness creates realities, because nothing that we see is actually what it is that we see. There's no absolute objective reality that we actually perceive. We only perceive what our consciousness relates to us about objective reality, not actual absolute reality. So the reality we see is everything that we created with our consciousness. For example,
we're done.
Yeah, I'm good.
Done. I let you go on and on and on, and I took notes. We have thoughts, correct. We have ideas, correct, that can be combined. Yes, you can. This is all, by the way, an argument via analogy. It is all an absolute abstraction that is not in any way tied to reality. And we'll get to the fact that it's absolutely not tied to reality here in just a second. You can combine those ideas to make a car. Yes, except that that's not true. You can combine those concepts, those ideas, to get the idea or concept of a car. That is not a car. The concept of a car is not a car. The concept of a place is not the place. That's just a fallacy confusing the map for the place. So yes, while we have thoughts and ideas, those thoughts and ideas are not the objects. The thought that I have of a unicorn is not a unicorn. The thought I have of a horse is not a horse, but there may be a horse that I'm thinking of. The object being separate from my perception of it. Our ideas move through three dimensionals of personal experience of past, present, and future. That's a bunch of sophistry nonsense, because we all move through time, and that means our thoughts move through time as well. You look both ways before you cross the street because you recognize there are consequences, not because you are seeing into future actual realities, but because you are viewing potential realities in your head. Potential realities aren't realities. Potential futures aren't futures. And then you repeated yourself several times about our thoughts moving in the three dimensions of past, present, and future of our experience. Then you said emotions move our thoughts. Emotions are thoughts. And some thoughts are more guided by other thoughts, emotional or otherwise, than others. But you're just spewing forth a bunch of words. Emotions move our thoughts through the three dimensions, past, present, and future of our experience. This description of consciousness as a universe, that's not what you just described. You think that in all of that I just quoted or referenced, you described consciousness as a universe. No, you didn't. You described thinking, and then you demonstrated that you as an individual are able to fallaciously confuse your internal model of reality with an actual reality. And then you went on to say that nothing we see is true because, and this is a quote, there is no objective reality. So you have just flat out, you have just,
I said there's no,
that is a quote.
No, I said there's no objective absolute reality. Absolute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here, let me mute you again. So there is no objective reality versus there is no objective absolute reality. Fine. I might have missed a word. I'll rewind. Maybe somebody in chat can figure out if I missed a word or if you missed a word in your script. But in any case, when you say there is no objective reality, you are now denying reality. And you are basically just saying that consciousness is the only reality. That is just an assertion. It's just your opinion. You haven't demonstrated it. You have no way to demonstrate it. And I don't care for your esoteric, time-wasting, consciousness bullshit. Thank you.
That's false. That is false. What color?
What's false?
What color is the sky?
Okay, I'm going to mute you again because I literally just said I don't care about your thing, and you said that's false. I'm telling you, it's completely true. I do not give the slightest fuck. I do not give the slightest fuck about your consciousness as a universe idea. Is that clear?
I'm good with Donovan. It's also just the whole notion that like we combine the parts to make things psychologically. That is also just not true. I know you kind of mentioned it. I don't know if this is the direction you were going, but like we've done lots of studies to demonstrate that you don't look at a house and see windows, door, bushes in front, roof, and then that is what your house model is. You look at an entire object and see a house, and you can zone in and be like, oh, there's a window on the house. Similar to words, you don't look at, the word Donovan. I don't see each individual letter. I read the entire word, and then if you ask me to, I can hone in on individual letters. It's like he's flawed on the philosophy. He's flawed on the psychology. I don't even want to. I can't open the can of physics. I kind of wish Aaron Adair were here to get into the whole notion of metaphysics for us, and if that has any bearing on his research and what he does.
The thing is, you don't need a physicist to talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to learn how to Mongolian throat sing? Check this out.
No, you try. No, keep that shit to yourself. Don't hear it.
Anyway, thanks for watching that clip. Patreon.com/calltheline is where you could support us. And maybe you should subscribe and like the video because it was a killer video. Or maybe it wasn't. Was it a forest video? If this was a forest video, you don't have to click like. If it was an Eric video, go ahead and click dislike.